Whatever you gotta do, we're gonna do. I never talked to anybody about any code, to be honest with you. I didn't buy into what everybody else did or who did what. What happened in hockey happened in hockey. It's a long time ago. I fished with Jay Miller after my career. I've gone out with him. I visited him in the hospital last year when he almost died. I'd be a pretty shallow person if I still hung on to that.
Nilan, 358 penalty minutes in the regular season.
He always talked about playing the National Hockey League, which we never thought would ever happen.
I told my dad I thought I was going to get drafted, you know. And he said the only way I'd probably get drafted if there was another war. I grew up in a violent atmosphere, you know, where you always had to be ready. You know, that streetwise, city tough personality that you had to have to basically not get run over and trampled upon. And it served me well when I got to the NHL, having grown up in that type of environment. That fed into to what I did as an NHL player.
Well, these are the two big men on their respective clubs.
You almost see that one coming. Dick Christmas ready rambunctious on this shift.
You know, when I started playing hockey, I wasn't that good. I always worked on my skating. I always worked on trying to get better. I was always told I wasn't good enough and not big enough and not this enough and not that enough. And I just wanted to play, and I kept at it. Having had the opportunity I had in Montreal to improve to the point where I could play every shift and be on the ice and help my team other than just fighting was great for me. Fighting honestly was the easy part, and to become a full-time NHL player was probably the most difficult part.
Nilan decides to carry on around the net, try to stop it, he scores! Chris Nilan!
Growing up, I had dreams of being Bobby Orr, which I failed miserably at. But, you know, I still played in the NHL, and I enjoyed every minute of it. The role of a fighter, I think has been reduced to where it's not used that often in the way it should be used. Lemieux, Gretzky, Marcel Dion, Bork, Guy Lafleur, that anybody ever gave them a concussion, there'd be a major problem, and it wouldn't end in one game.
And the familiar to us here in Montreal chant goes up, Nilan, Nilan.
I think a lot of people identify with the enforcer, and they have over the years, but they really don't know what that guy goes through on a nightly basis. You don't really know until you do it. I think all in all, the count was like 26 different surgeries. I ended up taking painkillers. They helped me for the short term, but once I got addicted to them, I was a slave to it. It took me a while to find out who I was when I was a kid. You know, like most kids, the only time I lost that is when I was involved in the drugs. The drugs took me away from myself. No matter what happens in our lives, how many times we get knocked down, we can always get back to our feet. And I think you see that in the film, just how far I slipped down the pole, and I was able to climb back up and get on my feet.